Hello there, Katie Woodard here again with KW Montgomery. We are looking at Ignite Session 3, Connect with Your Market. If you're looking for Session 1 and 2, it should already be uploaded into our KW Montgomery YouTube channel for you to go back and reference. So we have already covered in Session 1 and 2, how to spark your career and how to embrace your job. Today's agenda, we're going to look at knowing your market, building your expertise, utilizing the resources. We'll have our recap and ahas, of course, and talk about those daily success habits. So by the end of the day, you'll be able to explain how various factors of your current market inform your business focus and strategy. You'll be able to analyze current market trends to build your expertise. And you'll be able to use the technology and social media to connect with clients and grow your database. Gary Keller in The Millionaire Real Estate Agent said, here's the truth. If it's been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it's been done, no matter where, it's just a matter of finding how that can be possible in your world. This quote helps us understand applying the right systems and models to your market can help you achieve success of those who have come before you. So, know your market. A well-connected, well-informed agent knows everything they can possibly know about their real estate market. Whether it's a neighborhood, small town, city, county, or segment of the market, such as downtown condos, what you choose to know well is up to you. Let's start by knowing the market. Okay, there are three types of markets. If you've been with us long here at KW, one of the things that we talk about is the shifting market. It's something that has really come up since 2020 and COVID. So many of the pandemic situations had economic impact, which had real estate market impact, which then created a lack of inventory, which created a seller's market. So we're going to break that down a little bit. It's something that you've probably heard, but this is something to really get to know, and it's very, very relevant right now in 2022. So the first type of market you have is a buyer's market. That is more of 7 months of inventory. And what a buyer's market is, it means there's more options for the buyer. So the buyer has more power than, say, the seller, right? A balanced market is about 5 to 7 months of inventory. So there's enough inventory for the buyer pool, basically. And then the seller's market is less than 5 months of inventory. So basically saying, if I'm a seller that wants to put my home on the market during a seller's market, I have an advantage because there's less inventory. So of course, mine's going to be one of the top chosen. So they're important numbers to know. You can study this a lot of ways, a lot of resources to look at. The markets change constantly, sometimes rapidly, and it requires everyone to pay attention. You need to read the signs and truly understand this market. The only way to be a true fiduciary is to understand the market in which you're in. So, what is the inventory of your market? Do you know? That's something you should be looking at every day in our local MLS. The average number of days on the market. You should also know that. The average price of a home in the market. And then based on the inventory, what type of market you're in. I've already discussed this. We are in a seller's market. That's slowing down a little bit. We're seeing a little tiny bit more inventory. We're seeing more days on the market. We're seeing price reductions. Whereas 2 months ago, we were putting a home on the market. It was going under contract, sometimes sight unseen, 5 or 6 or 10 multiple offers. That is slowing slightly. Totally dependent on the property. All right, you need to also pay attention to what's happening with interest rates and lender regulations. So you need to make contacts with lenders in our area. We have some fantastic lender sponsors at our office that you can connect with. They come to team meetings, they come to classes and social events, so you'll be able to connect with them easily. But don't limit yourself to those. You also want to get on their contact list of a lot of lenders so that you can then be in their database. You can see any changes and updates and rates that are going on Inventory is a primary factor in determining what kind of market you're in, and it can help indicate the health of the market. So check that out with the rates and lender regulations. That really has a lot to do with buyers' buying power. And if you're going to be an agent, you have to have a seller and a buyer. So in order, it impacts you whether you focus on listings or whether you focus on buyers. Specifically, if you focus on buyers, these changes are going to have almost an instant, immediate impact. A few weeks ago, we had interest rates go up 2 points. That changed people's, even in the middle of the transaction, their ability to close. So that has a really true significant impact on you as a real estate agent and your service to your clients. There are another factor here. It's the economic factors. We talked a little bit about how the pandemic really put an impact on that, where it was so very obvious, and yet it's always been part of our business. It's just not something that we really have acknowledged so closely as we did, and we saw it so intimately when COVID hit. So you need to look for patterns over time in these numbers. Rising unemployment rates can mean the market is changing, but one factor alone doesn't indicate a radical change. Shifts can be good or bad, so always be on the lookout for those numbers in your market that are changing and what they mean. What is the employment rate? How many workers are entering and exit the workforce? What's the growth rate of the community? Has the government made any changes to houses and regulations that may affect the housing market? We had when COVID hit, the government put in a ton of economic support factors. As you know, there was there's a moratorium on eviction. There was a pre-foreclosure option if you wanted to secure that. There's just been a lot of things that have been put out there that had a really direct connection with the housing market. And your job's not to become a research scientist, it's just to understand how certain economic indicators could impact the housing market going forward. Remember, as long as you have clients to ask you questions about your market, your job is to know the numbers and know how the market is adjusting. Other important market factors to keep your eye on are the neighborhood numbers, right? So you want to know what's going on in each neighborhood, what shops and restaurants are close to it, what are opening up, any nearby hospitals or facilities, and any other attractions. Neighborhoods that have amenities, you need to know what those are. And that's something someone's going to ask you, right? So what amenities are associated with this? What does the HOA kind of restrictions look like? Those are important things to buyers. And to sellers selling their home, you need to be able to market that appropriately. So take a moment, jot down your ahas from those things that you need to master. Do you know where you can find the information that we talked about? Are you going to put it on your calendar to do every single day? This is something that you have got to keep your finger on the pulse of if you're going to be a top-notch real estate professional that's the market expert. On this topic, I tell everybody when I got into real estate almost 7 years ago, people would ask me, they'd find out I'm a real estate agent, would be, small talk or whatever. And they'd say, well, how's the market? And I would say, good. I had not a clue, not a dang clue. Nobody had instructed me on what I need to look for, what I need to be watching. I was asking other agents, what are you looking at? And I wasn't in a place of necessarily learning based or, hey, here's a pro tip around what you're going to be watching. And so I look back and I think, gosh, I just sounded so airheaded. Why would anyone choose to do business with me when I would just go, good? And it's not that you have to break down, well, interest rates have increased 1/4 point and blah, 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 unemployment. And you still need to have an educated elevator speech about what's going on in the market, kind of in that time, at least in the quarter. These days it's moving so quickly, you kind of really need to keep up weekly, but at least in the quarter of the or the year or something that you can say, hey, here's what's happening. Hey, it's a seller's market. And be able to translate that in a conversation that somebody can understand. So we want to build your expertise. You want to become the real estate expert of choice. We're going to look at the steps you take to start building that expertise. All right. So you're going to learn the market. You're going to learn your clientele. You're going to listen to individuals, and you're going to keep the headlines in context. Ooh, I love number 4. That's so good. So know your lore. The lore is the language of real estate. That's all those numbers and metrics we just talked about. You want to know your business. Notice the changes in your business over time so that you can watch and see what you're doing. Gary Keller all the time talks about doing red light, green light. You need to be aware of what you're doing. What are things you're not doing you should be doing? What are things you are doing that maybe you're wasting your time on and it's not helping you build a profitable business? All right, learn your clientele. Who are the buyers? Who are the sellers? Does this market benefit your clients, or does this market put your clients at risk? Now, the market is the market. We do not determine it. And yet we can have intentional conversations and intentionally build our database and intentionally build our pipeline so that's healthy. And no matter what's happening in the market, we can serve clients at a high level. If you are a buyer's agent in the year of 2020 to 22, and you solely focus on buyers, that's been a tough time. That's been a time you're building your pipeline. Things are changing. There's a lot of showings. There's a lot of offers, a lot of frustration. And yet the market was a seller's market. Should you not serve buyers? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying those that had a total full pipeline of buyers getting qualified, buyers getting ready, buyers in the active market, it didn't move so quickly or smoothly. Yet if that same agent has a pipeline with listings and buyers, you have a healthy mix. You can still serve your buyers, and then you have something marketable inventory to get you closings and to finish transactions. When you have listings, you can also gain buyers that way. So you're not only flourishing in your business, but you're actually creating inventory. And honestly, guys, listings are so much easier. They're so much easier than buyers. You need to serve both, and you also need to make sure that you're intentional around the conversations you have to make sure that your pipeline is healthy, that your business is healthy, and it doesn't matter what the market brings. All right, listen to individuals. So a lot of agents I talk to, I don't know if it's HGTV, the internet, TikTok, YouTube, whatever the information that's coming to you on how quick and easy it is to be a real estate agent, to build your business. It seems as if the trend is, I want internet leads. I want someone to hand me leads, and I want all the things. Whoever controls the lead controls the business. Whoever hands out a lead charges a fee for the lead. The lead, say it's an internet lead. I'm going to pick up the internet. That's a 3% conversion. Someone may or may not be able to sleep at night. They're getting on these websites. Everyone in the world loves to look at listings online. They click more information. That then gets sent to you. You give them a phone call. Well, by the time you call them, it's 9 o'clock the next morning. They have gotten over their kind of whatever. They may be in the middle of their job, working with their kids, whatever they're doing the next day. You then are trying to follow up to get them on the phone. By the time you get them on the phone, they have either someone in rotation on that same website has now connected with them and they don't want to do business with you anymore. Or 2, they take your phone call, you get down some information, you try to schedule an appointment with them, and they're all squirrely. It's a lot of work. They don't typically want to schedule an appointment. They want instant gratification. They want you to show them that house. They want you to do this and do that and do that. Again, we talked about in one of the previous sessions is that appointment is so important. It's important to your fiduciary duty. It's important to you as you're spending time investing in someone. You understand their expertise, their expectations and wants, and you can provide them with what value you have. If you skip that, there's not a lot of stickiness. Why am I trusting you when there's 18,000 other realtors that'll answer my phone and show me a house? So this grassroots approach is talk to your sphere, the people that love, know, like, and trust you. Okay. Those are the people that are going to put your name out there. Those are the people that are going to convert faster. Everyone in your phone may not buy or sell from you, but they all know a lot of people. So you have a lot more reach than you probably think you do. Don't be a secret agent. Tell people what you're doing. They're going to be excited to help you grow your dream, but you have to share it with them. Learn where your sphere gets their information. Talk to them. Hey, you know, as I'm building this business, I kind of want to know where people are looking for their information and how can I help them better. The people that are in your database and your sphere and your phone, they're going to be open with you and they're going to tell you, oh, hey, I look here, or hey, look here, and give you some of that information so that you can provide better value. Okay. And then, of course, you want to be present. This is a challenge on a lot of fronts. It's a challenge for dual career agents because you have limited time that you can actually be present in your real estate business. That's just a fact, no judgment. And it's also a challenge for full-time agents because when you're a full-time agent, especially if your family's knows that you're an agent now, you don't have office hours, you don't really have a strict schedule unless you set it. You tend to become the errand person. When I first got into real estate, I didn't have a child, but then when I focused solely on sales, I did property management and I had office hours and things. And then when I started focusing on sales, I had a baby. And I just thought, well, I'm going to have my baby home with me and I'm going to, you know, serve clients. I'm going to do all this stuff. It was so difficult because I didn't have the appropriate schedule or boundaries to say, this is my work time, this is my family time, et cetera, et cetera. It was really taken over by life because life just does that. So in order to be present is not that you don't have family time, not you don't have another job, but that you're really intentional around your calendar so that you can be present to the clients, to the customers, to growing your database, to doing the activities you need. All right, and keep the headlines in context. Woo, the news this past 2 years. It's been crazy. And the thing about it is that's what our clientele is reading, watching, seeing, hearing. So we've got to know what's going on. We have to be able to look at the past real estate market and know that as interest rates are increasing, it seems crazy and it seems shocking. And yet, if you look at the past 30 years in real estate, for instance, even past the housing crash, which that's what everybody's, you know, that's a very popular conversation right now. This is not unreasonable for rates. So you have to kind of know a little bit of the history, know some past headlines, know what's going on in our local market. So if we see something going on in California and somebody goes, oh my gosh, I saw this on blah, 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 and they said that the market is crashing and blah, blah. Well, let's have some information locally. Let's be prepared to have that locally and have that conversation. And then you can be able to explain what's going on. So you know the local numbers, you're staying in your MLS, you're looking at that hot sheet, you know the days on the market, average sales price, you're finding your niche area. That's very, very important to do. All right, jot down any ahas you have around this or action items that you need to take to learn more about the local market and be the real estate expert of choice. All right, now we're going to talk about how to utilize resources that are going to help you connect with your market. So we have talked about these apps. We have KW Command and we have the KW Consumer app. Okay, Command is an app version of the desktop database. So any deals or any contacts or anything you have in there, you can see on your desktop and you can see on your app. Very cool. Send you notifications, all those things. The consumer app is what your clientele will be using. The cool thing about that is one, we have KWLS. So if you have listings, our local MLS has certain restrictions around what can and cannot be shared and posted, and video coverage and signs and headshots like that can't really be included. KWLS takes it from MLS and you can add more to it. That's what connects out to all these internet sites. Okay. Anything that comes from KWLS will come to this app. Anything someone looks at in this app goes back to your database to say, hey, Susie next door has been looking at the neighborhood down the street. That allows you to have a more powerful conversation with Susie when you open up Command, whether on your desktop or your app, and it says, Susie's been looking. Well, you've been having conversations with Susie. If you didn't have the technology, you wouldn't know that. She wouldn't necessarily call you up and say, hey, I'm thinking about this other neighborhood. It helps us be prepared to be in control of the conversation. If you need questions about KW Tech, go to answers.kw.com. Also attend tech classes at the office. So here's that desktop version of Command. It shows you what your pipeline looks like. It shows the last time you've talked to people. It's a very, very user-friendly and cool piece of technology that helps you run your business at a higher level. All right, so you can get these apps from App Store or Google Play. You can just search KW, search Keller Williams Real Estate. You want to download both apps. One has a white background with a red KW and one has a red background with a white KW. You make sure on both of them you log in. So on the consumer app, you log in like you're a customer, then you select yourself as the realtor. What that does is it allows you then to go share the app and you have a unique code. So every time you share yours, whether you know the person or not, that goes into your Command. If you have not registered yourself as your agent, it's just going to share an app with them that's not connected to you. So it will not go to your database. Same thing with Command. You need to log in with your MyKW credentials. All right. So we talked a little bit about the 10-5-1, and I may have gotten this incorrect. I should have looked this up, honestly. I think I said 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 message. So I might have been close to it. Anyway, so what this is, well, there you go, is like 10 posts a day, write 5 comments a day, and send 1 direct message a day. But honestly, if you're going to send 1, go ahead and copy and paste that out to several people. That's opening up doors for more conversations. And honestly, it doesn't matter what platform you have the conversations on. Voice to voice and face to face are always the most important. But if you can start the conversation online, a lot of more people are open to that. So doing that through any of your social media is a great idea to establish those business, top of mind business practices. All right. So you want to study your market center report. So we go over our local market center lore regularly during our Tuesday meetings. You want to be able to preview homes. So look in MLS, make sure you have taken that MAR orientation, which it is a requirement for us. Learn how to access MLS, learn how to use it. It's going to be your friend and one of your biggest success tools you have. You want to visit and hold open houses. Open houses are just kind of coming back in because houses were closing so quickly as soon as they hit the market. There wasn't really time to do open houses. So that's coming back around. That's something that if you're a new agent and you don't have listings, put it on our private Facebook group. Hey, I want to have some houses open, and some of the listing agents will connect with you. You're going to study that lore or the language of real estate in MLS, in our office, all of those sort of things. You want to begin reading The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. What else are things that you could be doing to help you? And this is where you go back to some of your ahas and action items to see if there's things that you need to come back around and make sure that you make a note to do. Any ahas? Be sure to jot those down right now. All right, as a recap, you want to know your market. Know the type of market we're in, know the inventory. So how many houses are listed? What are the days on the market? What's the average sales price? You want to speak to lenders and know about interest rates and know lender specialties. So is this type of lender for credit repair? Is this type of lender for quick turnaround? Is this type of lender for that perfect client? You need to know some of those things. You need to have a few people. You need to have at least 3 that you can count on that and you can connect with them, like I said, either through some of our social team meetings, social gatherings, trainings, or something at the office, or just pick up the phone and call somebody. Hey, I saw your ad, I saw your card, I saw you at MLS, I just want to introduce myself. These lenders would love to sit down and talk to you about the programs that they offer. They're lead generating the same way that we are. You want to know some of those economic factors that contribute to the housing market. And then, of course, we talked about some other factors to notice. And then to build your expertise after you know your market is to master that market. Learn it, learn the clientele. You want to listen to what individuals are saying, and you want to keep the headlines in context and be able to have conversations around them. All right, today's ahas to achievement. How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new today? What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today? How will your behaviors be different going forward, and what actions will you take? What tools, models, or systems will you use, and how will they make you accountable? We want to have 10 conversations a day. Add those 10 contacts to your database. Write 10 handwritten notes. Thank you so much for talking to me today. Here's a couple of my business cards. You wanted the 10, 5, and 1 on social media, and then go back to those enrichments that we just discussed. I engage in every conversation in the spirit of contribution. People are happy to be in relationship with me. That's the affirmation for today, for connecting and having more powerful conversations to build your database and build your business. All right, session 4 will be defining your value. This is very important. We've talked about how to frame up the conversation as an elevator speech, as what you're going to schedule appointments around, what you're going to say in appointments, and defining your value is one of the first things you need to do so that you're not like me going, good, the market's good, I'm a real estate agent. But you can have educated conversations and prove your value within a first few minutes. Someone is ready to know your business better and to meet with you. See you on the next session. Thank you.